Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks. We are back working on our frigate. Once again, I'm out here on the back deck, and we're just going to do a little bit of general detailing, but we've got a lot to do in this episode, so we're going to be bouncing a little bit all over the place, and we're going to get right into the build with this one, guys, so just hang in there with me. I know this episode's probably going to be a little chaotic, but we've got a lot of stuff to do on the ship still, and I'm trying to get it wrapped up. I'm trying to get it out and on the workshop soon for you guys. So still don't really know when it's going to be done, but we can talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, for now, I'm going to get right into the build with this one. So if you guys like this build series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to get right into the time lapse, and I will talk to you guys in just a moment. All right, well, we got quite a bit done on the upper deck there. What I want to move on to is the bow section now. This section has been needing some detail for quite a long time, so we're going to get right into that now, and we're also going to go ahead and do the chain room below this afterwards. So we're going to basically finish the bow of the hull. We won't really have to come back and redo any of this after we're done. So it will be more or less finalized, whatever we choose to do here. So pretty much all of this is really just going to be decorational. I'm going to throw some fun stuff in just here and there, but most of it's just going to be decorational. I've got some hand cranks there with some pulleys, which you would not be hand cranking, but it's there, whatever. I think it looks okay. So there's not really too much logic that goes up here, really. There's just a couple of winches, and that's about it. So I'm going to put these fake winches in here. This is not actually anything, but like I said, there will be a chain room downstairs, so we're going to go down and we'll handle all of that, and that will be for our big winches. And when I say chain room, obviously I mean that pretty loosely. The game is Stormworks. We don't have chains. I do wish we had chains. That would be fun. Don't have the slightest clue how they would implement something like that, but whatever. Won't be a thing anyways. If it is, it'll probably be a mod. But I'm just adding these, and I'm gonna put some sliding tracks in. Just make it look a little bit nicer. I've been using the sliding tracks a lot lately. I think they look nice, especially for kind of like a cargo rail, which I mean, they realistically, they are a cargo rail. But I think it looks good. And then we'll have these on top. I guess you could use them for mooring. But if not, really, the larger winches are going to be down, and that'll be the anchors. So I'm still not sure if I'm actually going to put anchors on this ship. So I know a lot of times I don't, which is kind of annoying. But realistically speaking, the anchors don't really work in this game. if I'm going to be honest with you guys, the anchors don't really work in this game unless you use magulls, and I hate magulls. I hate them. I despise them. I think they're just dumb. Like the idea that you could just grab anything with it doesn't make sense. So try not to use them personally. And I understand they're a necessary evil, but that's also why I did not put any magulls or like connectors on my carrier. Really, as much as I could, especially like on the top deck and stuff. I think they look terrible. Also, they just look awful. But sometimes they're necessary. I did use one on the. I used a bunch on the oil rig, but I needed them. So if you guys really think I need to add anchors, I guess I will add anchors. So if that could be a war down in the comment section, I don't know. But I generally I don't usually add them, funny enough, because of that. So you could just kind of hook a rope to a rope in this game and use the winch however you need. But if you guys want them, I can add them, I guess. I don't currently have any on the ship. So just kind of keep in mind that I might not do that, I guess. I don't know. There's also I guess you can drift in the wind in this game, but also, I mean, it's a warship. You shouldn't really just be parked in the middle of the ocean unless you're doing something, in which case there probably should be something, or doing something as in like a offshore mission or something, in which case you would still have people in the bridge and the ship on. So not really a big deal. But yeah, I'm just adding some of these little slots in the hull, really just for water drainage, more decorational than anything. Again, don't really need it for Stormworks, but I'm just trying to make this bow section look a lot nicer. So I'm just playing around with a lot of the blocks. One funny addition I will say I'll add, and you guys will see it later, is I add a hopper, I think is what they're called. I don't know. I don't really mess around with them too much, but whatever the thing you can store fish are, I added one of those in the front, and then it's called tactical fish storage, and there's a couple of fishing rods up there just in case you guys want to go fishing while you're driving the boat. And that's just for fun. Again, not really super necessary, but kind of a funny feature. Helps you pass the time, true. Also, sorry, I cannot speak right now, good lord. But yeah, that's generally the plan. But I think we're gonna get into one more time lapse, guys, just because I've got to finish up this deck and then also do the room below. So we're gonna get into one more time lapse, and then we'll talk a little bit more before we close the video out. All right, well, there is the bow section basically done. We still have to go in and do that chain room, but I did want to spawn this in the world real quick and show you guys, oh my god, my ears. Always. Every single time I edit a video with this ship, my ears. Anyway, sorry. I added these cool little cages around, and they are supposed to be working correctly, but there's not really a way for me to test that because, yeah. Anyways, there's basically all the detailing done up there. So I do want to move downstairs, and I guess that's what we're going to basically get into right now. So we have this little room down here that I've already done a little bit of work on, not really too much, but basically I'm just going to use these pulleys, and we're just going to create a pulley system for the anchors, quote unquote. But again, they're not really there because I haven't added anchors. So this room is mostly just detailing. Again, if you're going to moor the ship to a dock, probably would be upstairs, not really using anything in the chain room. Tying to another boat, probably upstairs, not really in the chain room. Really, there's never, to be honest, a good reason to be in the chain room. Especially in Stormworks where the chains don't even exist. So there's really a double no reason to be in the chain room. But the chain room is here, and the reason I'm doing it is because I'm crazy and I like doing the full interiors. But the other big thing is that the more junk I put in here, the more durable the front of my boat is. So I'm going to put a bunch of junk up here, and we're going to call it a chain room. And that way, if I take any damage head on, it's going to have to go through a bunch of junk. But really, you know, again, I like doing the full interior, so I like doing this kind of stuff, guys. And all jokes aside, but you know, it is not really a super huge space, so we don't have to go crazy with it. I'm not going to go crazy personally. We're not going to really add too much logic, just some buttons for the winches and a bunch of cages. Probably going to be some equipment here or there, but as you can see, a very sophisticated button setup for the winches, literally just a button on a pipe. So we're going to pretty much just keep it like that. It doesn't need to get any fancier. We don't need to get into instrument panels or anything like that. So we'll just keep these. And I'm going to add some, like I said, I'm going to add some cages kind of around the winches for safety reasons. And then the rest of it's mostly just going to be like equipment and storage space. If you really needed to store stuff in here, you could totally store stuff in here. It's actually a pretty good place to store stuff. It's right above the bow. Pretty easy access from a cargo perspective, loading cargo. And then, you know, might get a little wet, but you know, if you don't need, if it's something that can be a little bit more wet, then who cares? So classic, I'm gonna just add the little grip tape to the floor is what that's really supposed to emulate. I guess it's really kind of just a pathway. It also helps you guys navigate around the ship. But yeah, I mean, all other kind of yapping aside, I am trying to get this ship done. I know a lot of you, well, not a lot of you really, but a few of you have been commenting it's taking a while. I know it's taking a while, guys. I'm busier than I was, and I've been doing other projects in between. I mean, you got to keep in mind I made a universal helmet HUD on off camera while this was going on, so there was a lot of time spent doing that that probably otherwise would have been spent on the frigate. But another thing is I also do less videos a week, so the pacing is kind of in tune with the YouTube. Obviously, I make videos and I don't just release it willy-nilly. So I'm not saying that you guys won't get this ship until the videos are done, because that's not really usually how I do it. I usually will release it towards the end of the video series. But because of that, I want to speed this process up a little bit. I can tell you guys confidently that the frigate is probably 90% done. Really, I only have pretty much cosmetic stuff to do on the interior at this point. And I'm not talking about on video. I'm talking about in real life, because I'm usually ahead of the videos. But in real life, I basically have no logic. So the entire bridge is done except for firing the torpedo. And that won't be too bad because all of the logic's done in a separate vehicle creation. So I just have to copy and paste it. And then the only other thing I really need to do is the mess hall and like a bathroom and seating for the mess hall and the main deck. So it is pretty close to done. I'm going to try to get it out relatively soon-ish, but because of that, that's also kind of why we're cramming so much in this episode too. So this was 3 different videos that I cut into one 20-minute video. So that was about 3 hours of footage that I cut down. So it's quite a lot of footage. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you guys just don't really need to see. And again, I'm trying to speed it up so we can get it moving along and we can get this thing posted. And, you know, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna really sit here and give you a date still, and I will still die on the hill of stop asking me for a date because that just annoys me. But yeah, I mean the reality of it is I am an adult, guys. I have a job. I do a lot of things, and I'll get to it when I get to it. I like Stormworks. I'm not gonna just ignore it. I'm not gonna just leave you hanging. But also, it's not really the top priority in my life. So it's one of those things where I work on it when I can, and I do the videos, and it is what it is. But we'll get it done. And I've got other projects going on. I don't plan on stopping or anything like that. It's just the pacing's got to slow down a little bit for it to be sustainable and consistent. So I hope you guys understand in that regard. That's kind of why we're doing 2 videos a week compared to the what I used to do, which is the 3 videos a week. But the main reason I'm doing that is just because I'm so much busier. If I did 3 videos a week, I would get burned out, and then you guys would get no videos a week. So 2 is a lot easier for me to maintain, a lot better pacing. So the builds might be a little bit slower, but this is, and it has always been, a slow paced channel. And if you don't like that, then don't watch me. There's a lot of other builders on YouTube, and there's a lot of great people in the community. And if you want to see stuff that's a little bit faster paced, I'm probably just not your guy. And it's not me, and just I'm not going to change the videos because of it. I'm not going to change the format because of it. I like what I do. I enjoy the videos. I enjoy the builds. So it's going to stay. So I will say, while I got you guys on the camera, thank you for being patient. And for those of you who aren't patient, kick rocks. The rest of you, I'm sorry. I'll get it done as soon as I can. And I'll obviously, as usual, I'll make an announcement when I get it posted. But just know, guys, it is a good, probably 90% done. So mostly just cosmetic, waiting to I got to start putting together the workshop page, and that is a grueling, long process. So don't just think it's haha, do a couple blocks, slap it on the shop. It's, guys, the workshop pages usually take me 3 to 4 hours. And that's for a smaller creation. The carrier workshop page I started the carrier workshop page 2 weeks before I posted it. So just kind of keep that in mind. I spend a lot of time on this stuff. I don't like the word perfectionist because I'm not, but I really like things to kind of be congruent and matching. And, I don't know. I'm really kind of particular with a lot of this stuff. So that's how it is, and that's how it goes. And so just be patient with me, guys. I'll get it done. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of the episode. So thank you for joining my twice weekly 20-minute rant. And I'm just showing you guys around. So yeah, we just pretty much did a lot of cosmetic work today. Pretty much changing room, bow. We did some paint work up top, but nothing significant. I added that little seating section under the awning and a light. We did it out of light, guys. So one less light to do. But anyways, that is pretty much all I have for this episode. If you guys made it to the end, thank you so much. Really appreciate the support. As always, you guys are killing it lately. Can't thank you enough. And that's, again, all I have for you guys. I'll keep these videos coming. I'll get this Frigate out on the workshop eventually one day, I promise. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.